work in acrylic or oils?
Oil paint. Yeah, I work in acrylic occasionally, but none of these paintings are acrylic. There are artists that work in acrylic, and I love their work. I've never been able to develop a rapport with the medium, and so it's hard for me to make this stuff breathe for me. In oil paint, it just feels much more natural. It lends itself to the way that that my pictures emerge. So,
Someone said, do you paint from sketches or go right to blank canvas? Do you have any sketchbooks?
I mean, there's some drawings, some sketchbooks. I always I have a sketchbook always in my back pocket, which is my son. I don't even know if his website is up now. It wasn't the last time I plugged him online. Black Rock Leather Company, and he makes these leather covers and then books. This is actually one I improvised, but he makes these nice books that fit inside, so you can. And this is what when an idea occurs to me, at the time when I'm not in the studio or at any time really, I make a note of it or I write it down. Some of these are just not. Something you may have heard me say before, but most ideas are bad, but I think that one of the things that distinguishes so-called creative people from other so-called uncreative people, it's not that they have more good ideas, it's just that they're more inclined to make some record of their idea, either in sketch or notes, and then later kind of look things over and decide what was a good idea, what was a bad idea. I'm afraid that a lot of people have the habit of thinking, well, that can't be a great idea because I had it, and a lot of people feel that way. But so when I look through my sketchbooks, I don't say, oh, this is unmitigated brilliance. I was making some notes. These are just words: quarantine, leaving quarantine, birds in quarantine. I don't know what that picture would look like. But some of you have seen some posts on Instagram, of what's that called? A mountain conversation. That started as a little sketch in the sketchbook. That great big huge immortals planting trees in the studio. There's this little version of it. So the answer to the question is, do I start with sketches? Is yes, sometimes. Sometimes I do drawings of paintings that I've done.
Maybe talk about your process, because people want to hear a little bit about.
Yeah.
So from sketchbook to.
My process is not neat and predictable. There are times when I have an idea and I just go right to the canvas, and sometimes there are no sketches for either of the big paintings that I had on that little movable wall. I had the idea and just went at the canvas right away, and that's probably true of most of the work you see here.
Do you do a wash on all of them?
There's that start right there, Tanya, on the table.
Yeah.
There was a line drawing done with paint, and then a little later I put a glaze on it, scraped it on with a mud knife, and that's a start there. I often do something like that. It doesn't always work that way. I find that with my work, it is almost always better for me to be working on a tone rather than just right on the white canvas. A lot of what's happening with the media, with the medium that I use, oil paint, is the layers that are underneath. They're kind of poking through and asserting themselves, and so I kind of make a mess and then try to clean it up into a painting. And in the process, sometimes the mess suggests changes that I make in the painting that were not part of the original idea. I want very much for the process to interfere and prevent and facilitate the outcome